Hi everybody, as promised, lost for words, that's not like me. Anyhow, these are some of the, well, they're all the plants that I bought at that local bring and buy, or the cactus mart down at Crockham Hill, which I say was quite good. Anyhow, we'll start off with this Euphorbia. Don't really know what it is or what the species is. I'm going to show you what's on the label. I will hide how much it was. It was quite expensive. Euphorbia species, as a name there, from Senegal. I think it was Supinii. I don't know, I haven't looked it up yet, but there's the data on it. Euphorbia species Senegal. It looks quite an interesting species. It looks well rooted. Have a look at it on the side there. There's a few leaves at the top there. With all of these plants, be very careful obviously with the watering, and it looks to me like a particular species of Euphorbia which would benefit highly from a little bit of heat over the winter months. Now I don't know what the winter months are going to be like. Last year was unbelievably cold. I noticed it. I'm on blinking warfarin to keep the blood thin, and I just couldn't get warm. So that is what we have to do, a bit of extra heat and very little water, if any. But at the moment it looks like the plant's growing. I've got no information where it came from, well, except the name on the label, but as regards growing periods, you have to just work it out when the plant grows. At the moment it does show a few leaves, and I'm hoping I can get this through a winter. If you get it through the winter and you're left with the summer, you're in with a better chance. The compost looks very much like that soilless compost they use, sort of based on lava bits. I understand if you get a cat litter at Tesco, I can mention Tesco because I'm not going to mention anything bad about them. In fact, it's good about them. They do a cat lid, which I understand. I haven't tried it. It is in a large, I say large, it's in a packet with, I was told, pink writing, and that can be mixed with your own compost or just used straight, presumably. But if it is used straight, then you're going to have to feed the plants. I've showed you the feeder I use. Let's see if we just have a little recap on that. God, I'm only going to make this a short video. I use that stuff. Mind you, the damp's got to the label. It's Chempack. Chempack cactus fertiliser. And I say it's obviously available in England. Whether it's available in other countries, I don't know. Because I know a lot of you are from abroad. We had a gentleman commenting about some of the plants I put up, and he's actually a bulb collector, so it shows you that that there is a lot of interest right across the thing. So you know, it's nice to see other people with comments he's from Germany, where there does seem to be quite a bit of interest. Anyhow, let's go on. I'm jabbering away. Let's go on to the other plants. I've got that rather large Euphorbia Suzani. I did notice that a couple of the heads was showing a bit of whitening. I don't quite know why. It was either mould, but I've gently sprayed with a bit of methylated spirits. That seems to control it. Here's a nice large plant. Remember, getting a plant like this, don't suddenly put into bright sunlight. I find that Suzani tends to like a shaded spot, not completely shaded, but shaded from the strongest sun. So there we are. It's a nice Suzani, Euphorbia Suzani. I've got another one of these, which funny enough came from the same dealer. As I said before, when he's at a show or a cactus mart, I automatically make a beeline to his stall. You never know what you're going to get. Moving further on, another one of my favourites is a Euphorbia. This is the one that obviously offsets a lot, and I thought, well, let's buy that as well. I must admit, I went to this do with the intention of making my wallet a bit lighter, and I certainly did that. But then I think the secret is to keep the plants, grow them and keep them, and you know, succeed. Here I didn't get these at that show. There's a couple of Lowry Eyes. At the moment they're looking quite good. Another one there. I rather like Lowry Eyes. I'm not a great friend of the Echeverias, although when I first started growing plants, I think Echeveria was one of the first plants I picked up at the local nursery. And some of the other plants, I didn't get these at this last show. They're rather nice. It's a tephra cactus geometricans, which seems to be quite a choice plant. There's two of them there. And I couldn't resist picking up 3 more Lowry Eyes. Now I think the secret is to not give them too much water. I was listening to a lecture by a gentleman who was saying that when he waters his plants, the Echeveria Lowry Eye are Mr. Watering, so if you were to say water the plants once a week, his Lowry Eyes would get watered every other week. So that might be a clue. In nature they tend to grow on a slope, so any water which is formed within the leaves doesn't get formed in the leaves, it just drains off. So if you water these plants, it's inevitable that you're going to get water in between the leaves. Just pick the plant up or the pot up and gently blow over it like so, and any water is dispersed, because that's the last thing you want, is water between the leaves. That will certainly cause rotting. Now, getting back to some of the other plants. I couldn't resist this plant. This is Jatropha podigrica. Get the name right. Podigrica. Jatropha podigrica. Years ago, and I say years ago, this plant was quite common. It was in some cases being imported by the almost the lorry load, which is perhaps not as good as grazing it from seed like this plant was. This came from a nursery who had plants at this bring and buy, and I thought I would give it a go And there we are. It's in full leaf at the moment. You've got a young leaf just about to appear. Well, it's appeared, but it's just about to grow. So it's Jatropha podagrica. The family is Euphorbiaceae. Moving further on, I had no idea what this plant was. Let's have a look at the name. Albocca spiralis. There's the plant. It is related to asparagus, I was told. It's a bulb, not a cordex, a bulb. And I think, reading the literature, it's a little bit susceptible to cold weather. So this looks like a plant which needs a little extra care in the winter. Apart from that, that's all I really know about it. It makes these nice spiral shape, well, there will be spiral when they've grown a bit. Spiralis meaning spiral, and it refers to the leaves. There's the plant. Now I think that's more or less all that I bought at that show. I don't know whether I mentioned these, but I picked up at the Mezem show. I'm not sure if I have put these up on show. I might have done, I'm not sure. Pseudolithus migratinus. There's 3 there, and these are also rather tricky. So you know, you could be careful of that. Oh, I have missed out a plant which I bought. That one up there with the very long spines. It's hiding behind a branch of Xeriosicius. I saw this plant as I walked into the show. That was on the first stall that was selling plants, and I can't trace it anywhere. The only mention of it is on eBay from Italy. Someone's offering a cutting of it. It's quite an interesting plant. It's obviously related to a Panthea papriacantha or tephra cactus, papricantha diademata. It's in that group. It is a tephra cactus, but I've never seen one with spines that length, so I had to have it, didn't I? I think the lady, we had 2 plants or 3, and I was a bit silly. I didn't grab it as I walked in. I should have done, but they were still there. So there we are. That's the last plant that I got from the plants on sale. As I say, it's nice to see the plants perking up a bit. I've had to perhaps give a little extra water than I should have done, but as I say, this complaint I had didn't do any good at all. I've still got lithops in that stage which are not looking too happy. But I've got plenty that are looking a bit better. I brought some of the plants in from outside. Gojiras. These 2 plants actually grew through the pots into the soil in the garden that they were standing in. So unfortunately I had to, some of the roots got broken off. But anyhow, they're surviving. And they're being obviously kept in the greenhouse during winter. I've got some old flowers there I've got to take off. A couple of other plants. I've got my large Pereskia. This plant is in fact a cactus. To a lot of you, it'd say cactus looks more like just a common bush, but it's Pereskia. Look careful, the stems you'll probably see spines and glochids. A true cactus, but a primitive cactus. Also, it's gone in at the moment, I had a lovely flower on my Ariocarpus agaveoids. Beautiful purple flower, and I should have taken a picture of it, which I didn't. The Euphorbia, that is coming on. This one I'm still waiting for it to oblige. Not a single stem. So keeping fingers crossed, hoping it's alive and will grow. They can grow at any time. There's another new one I picked up. Not at this last show, but the one before that. Bonnerii. Puna bonnerii. As far as I'm concerned, it's a species of a puntia. But so many names have changed. God, if I could go back to when I first started growing cacti, and I was only a kid then, how many names have been changed. There's an example of that, Papilacantha. They're quite long spines, but not as long as the spines of that one I showed earlier. That tall example is in fact a cactus. That's Peresciopsis. Most people would grow this as grafting stock. I decided to grow it as a plant. And there it is. Peresciopsis. Oh, excuse me. You see, these plants have done quite well. These are still in full growth. Unfortunately, my Dioscurus sylvaticus are not looking very happy at all. I'm scared to overwater them in case I rot them off, and I'm scared to not water them in case they dry up. So I don't know, they are tricky. The plants are back there. Yeah, ending up with a few of the lithops which have been in full bloom. These are looking at quite a bit better than they did earlier. There's still one or two there that look a bit as though they're not going to get through, and some of them have still got this white deposit on. So the occasional spraying with methylated spirits, which doesn't seem to hurt the plants. Hopefully it hurts wherever that white stuff is. I think it's a fungus. Anyhow, that's all for this time. Once again, thanks for watching. Any questions, please ask, and I'll try and give an answer. There's a few more bits and bobs underneath. Some crassular penny plants, I think they call those. A couple of opuntias, which were just odd offsets that had dropped off from the main plants. Sign that winter's just around the corner, a heater there, which might be brought in to help out with the heat. But my main heater is that one there, which is a good standby. Wee Willy Winky it's called. Titan 2 kilowatt. Some other electrical bits and bobs. One of these days I'm going to do a video on certain electrical bits. I've got so many bits from several countries around the world that are interesting, I think. That one there, as I say, is an adapter from the German Schuko, which is this style of socket, and it converts to the English 13 amp. So anyhow, that'll do for this time. Once again, many thanks. I don't know what I'm going to do next on here. Whatever it is, hopefully it'll be interesting. Anyhow, thanks again. Thank you.